all the information in the flyer. We got Miss Markiya coming up today, and she's really gonna set the tone for the week because it is just Tuesday. And if you guys don't know her, she is not someone who is always vocal, but she's someone who's always present. Okay, she's always there, most definitely, and she has a lot of wisdom to give. So I'm really excited to hear the gems that she's going to be dropping for us today. Let me make sure that I pin her so that she could just take it away because y'all, I'm excited. I'm ready to take my notes. And Markiya, you can go ahead, girl. Do your thing.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me, Cherokee? Okay, I can just share my screen, or I think you gotta give me permission. Okay. All right, guys. So I've been reading this book. It's called The Master Key of Riches, and I found it at like one of those little bookstores. I actually went looking for something like this, and I was in the bookstore for like 2 hours looking, and my dad was rushing me, and I was like, no, there's a book here. Like I can feel the energy of the book here. So I ended up finding that book, and I started reading it. In the first chapter, he talks about the eight princes, and they're basically like their mantras. I'm calling them mantras that he uses, to help him to keep his mind in a positive, like I guess you want to say in a positive state. So he states that they can be used as mentors, principals, or counselors, or guardians of good spirit. The first one he talks about is the Prince of Material Prosperity. And he states, now these are things, he says that he says these every single day. So I am a firm believer in affirmations and things like that. So I do try to say these things every single day. Actually, I probably have like 2 hours of things to say a day just to keep myself, pushing through. But the first one is, I'm grateful for you. I am grateful to you for having kept my mind attuned to the consciousness of opulence, of plenty, and free from the fear of poverty. Now, a lot of us, or maybe let me step back. I grew up in poverty, and I know a lot of people have grown up in poverty, and it is hard coming into a space where you know that money is supposed to flow to you in abundance. We've done a lot of studying. Those that have been in IM Academy with the push of personal development, you kind of stumble into the fact of money flows to you. It's supposed to flow to you in abundance. But I thought this was very important because you shouldn't do things to be like, oh, I'm going to work overtime so I could get these pair of J's, or I'm going to work overtime to get this coach purse or whatever. But when you do have wealth and you do have riches, it is nice to have those materialistic things. And sometimes when you are in a rough spot, you can't buy name brand stuff. You can't buy this and you can't buy that. And I believe that this one is important. It's just to keep your mind on a desire. If you feel like, that's one of those things where you take that moment and you say, I'm so happy and grateful now, because you put that into the universe, and eventually it's going to come to you. It doesn't happen overnight, because we all wish that it could, but it doesn't. The next one is Prince of the Sound Physical Health. He says, I'm grateful to you for you have attuned my mind to the consciousness of sound health, thereby providing the means by which every cell of my body and every physical organ is being adequately supplied with the inflow of cosmetic energy sufficient unto its needs, and providing the direct contact with infinite intelligence, which is sufficient for distribution and application of this energy where it is required. So when you exercise, we release energy, mostly bad energy. And I don't know if anybody studies Kevin Trudeau, but he says we have a very, very big ball of negative energy, and a lot of us are not aware of that. So when you work out, you push the bad energy out, which allows your good energy, the positive energy, to start flowing in abundance. It, as moms, it's 15 minutes to go work out. An hour to go work out seems like a lot, but it's worth it. I get up in the morning, I try to do little 20 push-ups, and I can tell you right now, it gives me a lot more energy than if I didn't do the 20 push-ups. So it's, if you don't have an hour a day, take 15 minutes. That more, I don't know if everyone is into morning routines, but if you have a morning routine, just take out 15 minutes to do some jumping jacks, get your heart rate pumping, and that will clear out maybe not all of it, but as you progress, it'll get better. Because trust me, it was hard for me at first. Okay, peace of mind. I thought this one was really good for moms because we play so many different roles in life, and to find that peace is very, very hard to do sometimes, but it's something that you need to, just stop in your day and be like, have I, done everything? Can I take a breather? It's important to do that. But his mantra for that was, I'm grateful to you for having kept my mind free from all inhibitions and self-imposed limitations. They're providing my body and mind with complete rest. As a mom, we come down on ourselves hard sometimes, harder than we need to. And it's important to understand that God woke you up with a purpose. You're going to fulfill that purpose, even if you don't think you're fulfilling it. You just have to know that what you did in that day is enough, and lay your head on that pillow and say, I may not have accomplished everything, but I did the best that I could, and tomorrow's another day, as long as it's granted. It's hard to do that, but you've got to. It helps. For hope, Prince of Hope is, I am grateful to you for the fulfillment of today's desires, and for your promise of fulfillment of tomorrow's aim. For that one, I put down that we work hard towards our desires. It's important to have a desire. It's a dream. It's something that you manifest on, you work on, and you have to put in the work. God is going to carry you through everything, but you got to put in the footwork, because you're the human on the earth. I'm not very religious. I don't believe in one way or another, but I do know that there's a higher power that guides you, and he wants you to put in the work so you can deserve what it is that he's going to, because he can open up the floods, the gates of heaven, and pour down. But if you're not ready and you didn't put in the work, he's just going to give it to somebody else who's more prepared at the end of the day. But if you have hope, well, you'll move according to both his plan and your plan. Faith, the Prince of Faith, I am grateful to you for the guidance which you have given me, for your having inspired me to do that which has been helpful to me, and for turning me back from doing that which, had it been done, would proven harmful to me. You have given power to my thoughts, momentum to my deeds, and the wisdom which has enabled me to understand the laws of nature, and the judgment to enable me to adapt myself to them in the spirit of harmony. Guidance. That was the word that popped out when it came to faith. You got to have faith when you can't see what's on outside of your radar screen. Okay, we have a radar screen, and it only has 10% of what's going on in our life. The other 90%, you have no clue. You have no clue. That's why they say, people, if your mind, you can almost say a mantra to open up doors you never thought could happen. But our brains are so focused on how and or when and what am I, and that's not what faith is. Faith, you got to walk by faith and put in the work. Ultimately, that's what it is. We do things, sometimes we do things expecting things back, or sometimes you just do things just out of faith, so I think that it's important. Like, I'm sure most of us believe in some type of higher power to understand that faith is important, because otherwise we wouldn't even be here on the call. Prince of Love, I'm grateful to you for having inspired me to share my riches with all whom I've contacted this day, for having shown me that only that which I give away can I retain as my own. I'm grateful too for the consciousness of love with which you have endowed me, for it has made life sweet and all my relationships with others pleasant. So spreading love, right? God is not a he, it's not a she, it's a love. Okay. One thing, I've been studying the Holy Bible, and ultimately it's boiling down to, we are God. Each one of us is God. And you have to, in order to fulfill your purpose as a God's child, you need to move with love. I mean, sometimes that's hard because throughout the day, people will push your buttons. they will make you feel some type of way. And then you're like, well, why the heck do I need to be nice to that person? Well, you got to lead by example. I work at a warehouse, okay, and the first day I walked in, everybody had this mug on their face. They was mad. I was like, oh God, this is going to be horrible. But I started speaking to everyone, and literally by the third day, people were talking to me. They opened up, they're smiling, and I'm like, okay, now I feel a little bit more comfortable. God put me in that position for a reason. And maybe it was so that people don't walk around all grumpy all dang on day. Don't nobody want to be around grumpy people all day. But you might have to be that piece of that shining light in the darkness. Sometimes people are unaware. A lot of people nowadays, they move and they're unaware that they got a mug on their face. And it just takes you to say, hey, or what I'm saying, how you feeling today? Because I'm feeling great. So let's both feel great. The next one is the Prince of Bromance. This one was a little confusing to me because I don't really understand what he means by this, but he says, I'm grateful to you for having inspired me with the spirit of youth despite the passing of the years. The only thing that I could come up with was the fact that because he's older, that he was saying, as we get older, don't forget that you deserve to have romance. I'm not in a relationship, but I know some of us are, and that's important. As we get older too, if you've been single for a while, sometimes you feel like, dang, I'm never going to find the romance, or where is my partner, or whatever. But you just have to, know that your time is going to come, and don't let what the physical time that you see, because we know that that's not real. It's just time. It's man-made. That romance will come to you. Prince of Overall Wisdom, my eternal gratitude to you for having transmuted into an enduring asset of priceless value of all my past failures, defeats, errors of judgment and of deed, all fears, mistakes, disappointments, and adversity of every nature, the asset consisting of my willingness and ability to inspire others to take possession of their own minds and to use their mind power of attainment for the riches of life, thus providing me with the privilege of sharing all of my blessings with those who are ready to receive them, and thereby enriching and multiplying my own blessings by the scope of all the benefits to others. This is a lot, but that's where all our wisdom comes in. All of our disappointments, all of our head bumps, all of the things the lessons that we turn into blessings. And with this one, what stood out to me is like, each one teach one. If you know something, don't keep that information in, because we don't know what the next person is going through. So what you have access to, they may not have access to. So if you're sharing the information, it's beneficial to everybody. I was talking to one guy, and he was saying, he's like, I get more of my benefit. Like, basically he was saying, like, I am happier when I help somebody do something because I know that it's going to come back to me 10 times a fold. And it's not always money. Sometimes it's a better day, or sometimes it's a lead to something bigger or something like that. And we all have wisdom. Each one of us have a different type of wisdom because we've all gone through different things in life. And I think it's important, like what we do here on Tuesdays, we all bring something to the table. Everybody has something to learn. Everybody has something to teach. And it's not a lot of people that are willing to share their wisdom. I mean, there's, not to go back to the Bible, but there's people in the Bible that don't even share their wisdom. So it's, it's just like, take pride in being able to teach the information that you learn. If you find something, let somebody know, because you never know. That somebody might be like me, introverted and sitting here twiddling their thumbs trying to figure out something, and there's 9 other women that got the answer to the question. So it's important to just when you have a strong desire with some information, it's probably because somebody close to you needs that information. I've been focusing a lot on my energy, and when I feel like, oh, something's not settling, it's because I'm holding on to something that somebody else needs to hear. And with this book, I wanted to share this with you guys because one mantra a day to focus on for a minute, whichever one of these ones that you feel is, you're battling with the most, or you feel like you can become stronger, just take 30 seconds out your day to repeat it to yourself. And we all know how those mantras work. The one that she was playing this morning, just right now, I listen to that every morning. So, it's like, these are things that they make a big difference. We think that, we're just, no, they're just words, but they're not. They're I ams, they're who you are. So yeah, that's what I had to share with y'all today. Oh, I did not pay attention to the chat at all. Sorry, guys. I'm done, Cherokee.
Oh, wow. I love this. I loved every second of this. I'm so happy that you got out of your comfort zone for real and was like, I got something that everybody needs to hear about, because this was amazing. And I'm glad that we got this up on YouTube, because I'm definitely going to rewatch it a few different times, because I've never heard of the book or of these different types of affirmations. So I think it's going to be extremely helpful for me, because I need some more like PD. I need something else more than what I already have in my routine. So I'm definitely grateful. But does anybody want to share any takeaways or feedback that they got from what Markiya shared with us tonight? All right. If not, then I guess we can go, guys. It's a pretty short session tonight.
Yes. So there are 12 steps, right? Now, those are a little bit more detailed. So when I get those all together, we could talk about those too, because I think they're important, especially as to follow up with this information, because we all know how powerful our minds can be. And if we could just train it to do and think the way we want it to think, we're going to flow in abundance with everything.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, that's it for us. Thank you for joining us tonight. I know we missed last week, but this was definitely a good comeback. Okay. This was really good. So I'm very thankful that you guys were here tonight, and I cannot wait to see you guys next week. Same time, same place. All right. Love you.